I'm in right now. Maybe some of y'all not going through nothing. So that don't apply to you. I know. That may not apply to you, but for those of us that's really going through something, we're in some situations where we don't have no answers. And we need a miracle. How many know a miracle is something you can do for yourself? I don't know what they mean. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm fine. Come on, somebody. Come on. I need y'all to bring your minds in. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going through something right now. Situation that's up over your head. Is anybody in here that situation is above your head? That's who I want to talk to right now. We're the ones that need miracles. When you don't have any more resources. We don't have anybody else. You know, sometimes, man of God, everybody calls on us when they get in trouble. You know, can I get a loan? You got a few extra dollars. Can you give me some gas money? Can you loan me some money till I get paid? But where does the one go that everybody goes to? When you need help, nobody's there to help you. Can I get some witnesses here? I want to minister to you right now and let you know God has us. Nobody else might not have us, but God has us. Can y'all go with me right there? I said God has us. I said God has us. Can we just admit that there's really nobody that's really That's why I told them to give me my rope. I feel a shift in the atmosphere. This is a very, very critical time. And I need y'all not to be not distracted, okay? The Lord, Friday night, we were here, and the Lord let us know He was catching us. Anybody was here Friday night, I need you to make some noise in here. It was a very unique anointing in the house. It was a very unique anointing in the house. Now, watch this. God is saying, why would I catch you and not deliver you? Why would I catch you just before you was getting ready to give up? And still not look at somebody and tell him He has a plan. 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 Come on, touch three people. Tell me He little bit harder. The test got a little more intense. Who am I preaching to? Anybody have to try while you got tears coming down your face? Anybody have to sit on the side of your bed and you got tears streaming down your face? I say, God, there's some stuff I just don't understand. See, what we think is our walk with God disqualifies us from certain tests and trials. So when it happens, we say, why is this happening to me? But let us not forget Job, who lost everything he had at the same time. Guess what? He said, I'm not going to curse God. His wife said, curse God and die. You are old fool. That's what you are. Who gonna still serve God when he allowed everything in your life to be destroyed at the same time? If God loved you, why would he let that happen? Can I help you with something? If he does not allow us to go through certain things, our character will never be developed. You think you're qualified for the manifestation of the prophecy that you received. But the reason why the prophecy hasn't happened yet is because you got character flaws. We have things in us like unforgiveness, gossip, slander. When somebody does something to us, we look to get back at them. So what God says is that, yes, I told the prophet to tell you where I was taking you. But I didn't give them the details of the process that you had to go through. I didn't tell them you had to be stripped first. I didn't tell them to tell you that you had to lose some stuff that's important to you first. I didn't tell them to tell you that you had to lose some so-called friends first. And I had to use those friends to turn on you. Because many times you believe what they said quicker than what I said. He said, I'm still going to do what I said I'm going to do. But I see some stuff in you that wouldn't be able to handle the blessing just yet. Because you still rely on your income tax. Come on, somebody. See, I can't make you a millionaire yet because I can't even trust you with 5,000 or 10,000 right now. Because you don't even pay your tithes when I do bless you. If I can't trust you with a little, how can I trust you with a lot? Whosoever loves mother and father and sister and brother, things of this world more than you love him, ain't fit for the kingdom. I gotta let you lose everything at the same time, and then look and see if you still trust me while you stand. I gotta let you lose everything but your mind to see if you still gotta praise. One way or the other, he's gonna get the real us and come to the surface. I'm not talking about that church face. I'm not talking about that holy face we put on when we in front of church folk. I'm talking about when you driving a nice car and then all of a sudden he allow you to lose your job and you lose everything, you lose your car and you back to catching the bus or calling Uber. Look at somebody and say, can you praise him in the Uber? If I allow you to lose the home that I bless you with, and you a tithe payer and a seed sower, and you still lose some stuff, can you stay with me? Can you praise me when you were a homeowner and now you got a landlord? Now you got to answer to a landlord. One way or the other, I'm going to get the real you come to the surface. You better say it. Amen. See, when you give God a yes, yes, Lord, we don't know what all is entailed in that. Come on now. Amen. You don't know what you're going to have to suffer when you tell God yes. Come on. Amen. I'm not talking about a yes from your lips. I'm talking about when we give him a yes from our belly. Yes. Anybody just ever came to the altar and just lift your hands and told God yes? Yes, Lord, is a form of surrender. Yes. That means when things get tight, you can't go back to your old ways. You can't keep some people's number as plan B. My God. You can't keep no backup phone numbers. When you feel like God ain't coming through. Because you was with some people who had it, and you know all you gotta do is make a phone call. You ain't ready yet. Come on, prophet. How many know God will fix it to the point to where when you do call them, they won't even answer the phone? God is stripping you to get rid of you. You, the fleshly part of you. This is the Lord. Somebody say, God, why do I keep going through the same test? Because you keep getting in the way. Amen. Come on. When you say, Lord, let your will be done, you don't have no plan B. Oh my God, I'm talking better than y'all should. What you gonna do? Go back to selling drugs? Come on, somebody. Sleeping with somebody and then feeling like dirt the next morning? Y'all not helping me right now? Giving up your whole testimony, giving up your whole place of victory because you feel like God ain't moving quick enough. It's gotta be God, because this ain't what I came to talk about today. Some of us, we're okay as long as we feel like we have some sense of control. Those kind of people never get to the top of the mountain. They never make it to the top of the mountain. they never see the fullness of the promises of God. The only people that see the promises of God. See, you got to give up everything like Moses. He said, I'm not qualified to do this. He said, I have a stuttering problem. I can't even speak. Why are you sending me? See, when you give God a yes, you fully surrender to his will. So if he tell you to quit your job and go full-time ministry, you don't have a problem with that. See, y'all ain't ready yet. Y'all ain't ready yet. As a single parent for the past 10 years, I had to learn. It'll be 11 years this year. I had to learn how to trust God. God took my faith to another dimension when I let him. Come on. When I had bills that were due, I didn't call nobody to help me pay my bills. I didn't get 200 here for a rub on my thigh over here and 500 over here. Am I in the right church today? Look at somebody, tell them my anointing is not for sale.
My anointing is not for sale. Not for sale.
My anointing is not for sale. So if I got to lose my anointing to get some money out of you, I don't need it. I don't need that. But what God did was, I'm talking to encourage somebody, he proved to me that he's God. So much so to when my ex-husband and I were going through the divorce, I had mercy on him. And everybody thought I was crazy. Because they said, why don't you let the state do the formula for child support? He wouldn't have had no check.
Come on now.
By the time I got through with him.
I know that's right.
He came to me and he said, would you mind coming into an agreement with me for a certain amount instead of us allowing the attorneys to use the state's formula? Can you work with me? He said, and then I promise that when I have extra that I will help. He said, because I still got to live.
Amen. That's true. Amen.
Come on, I see if y'all knew what I was going through, y'all would be like, oh. I don't know about that, Pastor. Because he didn't deserve it. But let me show you something. When you have mercy on somebody, God will have mercy on you. Watch this. Even when they do you wrong, and you are justified. And you justified to do certain things. Now, I was justified to be able to tell my attorney, use the court system. That was my right.
Come on now.
But just because it's a good idea don't mean it's a God idea. I'm going to teach you how to be blessed beyond measure. You will never be blessed beyond measure doing things in your own way.
That's right.
Yes. You got to do it God's way. Even if it don't make sense, even if it seems like it's hurting you, you got to do it God's way. I told him, I said, okay, I'll come into an agreement with you. We wrote it out on a piece of paper. And so, because I wasn't working, ministry was my livelihood.
Yes. All right now.
So when you preach, you never know what the people gonna bless you with. When you get on the airplane and God send you to all these different churches, you don't know if these people gonna do right by you or not. So my whole life at that moment was by faith.
Come on now.
I told him, I said, I will come into an agreement with you.
Wow. That's scary.
And all the way up until the time when my daughters turned 18, he paid those amounts that we agreed to. Guess what? There were times when it seemed like I would have been lacking. But I was always blessed.
Come on, Pastor.
moment where nothing was paid. For 2 years, a friend of mine called and said, the Lord told me to buy you and your daughter's groceries.
Thank you, Jesus.
For 2 years, I didn't buy groceries because I did right. I don't understand. Because I was not vindictive. Come on. Because I wasn't bitter and nasty and angry. Come on, God bless me. Just yesterday, I went to pay my light bill. And I remember, I said, wait a minute, what happened to February? I ain't paid. I looked on there, I hadn't paid no light bill since January. When I looked at February, the balance was zero. I looked again, I said, well, maybe they doubled up February and March together. And when I looked at March, the payment that's due in March is less than what I paid in January. Somebody say miracle signs and wonders. See, when you let go and let God, you begin to live in supernatural realms.
That's right.
Come on. Hallelujah, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
I came to talk to somebody today.
Come on, Pastor.
Because you cannot just keep going through a routine of coming to church.
Come on now.
And you still going home dealing with depression and suicide. At some point, you got to break that yourself.
That's right.
Put this up there, Joel chapter 2. Put this up there, Joel chapter 2, starting at verse 17. I want to show you all something. This is what God told me to tell you all today.
Come on, Pastor.
When they get this up here, you're getting ready to see what the Lord told me to speak. I want you to know something. Friday night, we had a very unique service. The anointing was so unique in here. And I just couldn't believe how God just moved in that service. And it probably was one of the most unique services we ever had. Those of you that don't come out through the week, you missing a treat. We have some of the best services through the week. Verse 17. Start at verse 17. Let the priests and the ministers of the Lord weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God?
My God.
Listen. The children of Israel, specifically the tribe of Judah, have been in sin and disobedience. They walked away from God during this time. But I'm going to show you the mercy of God. This is why you got to be merciful to other people, because you don't even deserve God's mercy. You got to remember that when you being nasty to people. When people do things to you, do not do tit for tat. Do not give them tit for tat. Do not give them what they're giving you. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. Remember how many times you messed up in the eyes of God. And God still blessed you. His mercy was still working for you. So God is dealing with Israel, Judah in this text, and he's telling them, you know what? I want you all to repent. He's dealing with them in this whole chapter about repentance. Go back and study it. He's telling them to repent. But watch this. He doesn't just want them to repent with their mouth. He wants them to repent, the text says, with their whole heart. See, repentance is not just, Lord, forgive me, I did it again.
Amen.
And then you go right back the next time doing the same thing.
Amen.
People are playing on the mercies of God.
Yeah.
People play on the fact that they know that God's grace is still there.
Amen.
But oh, there comes a time disobedient.
Amen. Say that. Say that.
You cannot keep just willfully sinning. This is the point Prophet was trying to make when he was teaching a few weeks ago. But I want to use this word. A lot of times we got to understand, every time we sin and we're disobedient, it carries a consequence. And we feel like God is punishing us. But let's look at it from this perspective. It's discipline.
Yeah.
As you will discipline your child. How many know every child needs discipline at some point?
Amen.
Go to the next verse. Watch this. Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. See, no matter what they did, God still had a soft spot in his heart.
Yes, he did.
Amen.
No matter what you've done, baby, you still hold a soft spot
Yeah.
in the heart of God.
Amen. Praise God. Praise
He
God.
said, you are the apple of my eye.
Yeah.
He said, I could have destroyed you, but when I looked at you again and saw how wonderful you are, because I created you. Come on, somebody. I had to extend my grace one more time. Go to the next verse.
Yes, God.
Yeah, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. He said, even though you've been sinning, I'm still going to bless you.
Hallelujah.
Even though you've been disobedient, he said, I'm still going to bless you.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Look at somebody and tell them, don't be so hard on yourself. See, the thing about a testimony is that I'm not in it anymore.
Yeah.
I was in it. I may have even been guilty in it. But at some point, repentance means to turn. At some point, you got to turn away from that thing that keeps turning you away from God. Come on, somebody. Next verse. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. See, God sent a host of locusts. Judah was in the south, but their enemies came from the north. And every time they thought they were getting ready to bring in the harvest, God allowed their harvest to be destroyed by locusts.
Yeah.
They were working, but the harvest was being destroyed.
Come on, say it.
See, when you're in disobedience and you sow your tithes and your seeds, it still is not going to work for you. Oh my God, I just said a revelation. Somebody thought their seeds were going to make up for their disobedience. God said, I don't care about your seeds and you still ain't going to do right.
Come on, Pastor.
You don't know how many times people come up and put seed in my hand, and I knew in my spirit, I said, oh, they think this is going to make up for them being disobedient, for them being disrespectful. Come on, somebody. For them disobeying God, not doing what God told them to do. You got to understand, your seed don't work for you. That's why some of you frustrated, because you've been sowing seed and you still are in a drought.
That's all right.
I can't get no. Look at somebody and say, I need my seeds to work for me. So they were laboring, they were planting, but they were never able to enjoy a harvest, because every time it was time for harvest, something came and destroyed.
Yeah.
So you've been paying your tithes, but you ain't doing everything God told you to do. So when you think you get ready to go and enjoy something extra, you don't have no extra, because it's all dried up. Next verse.
Come on, Pastor.
Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Now this is the Lord speaking through his prophet Joel and reminding the people, even though you did wrong, I'm still going to do great things for you. But you first must repent.
Yes.
Not repent the way you call repentance.
Come on.
thing that keeps holding me back from the things of God. Can I tell y'all something? The devil ain't holding you back. You holding yourself back. We can't sing songs like I surrender all.
You ain't surrendered.
But you pick and choose what part of you want to surrender. All of your body parts got to be surrendered. I said all of your body parts
That's right.
have to be surrendered. How many know you can be up in here every service, every time the door is open and still be in a drought? While other people testifying and you sitting there trying to figure stuff out. You got to do a self-examination and make sure there's no sin in the camp. Make sure there's no disobedience in the camp. Say, well, why I got to do right by them? They didn't do right by me. Because you carry something they don't carry. You have a relationship with God. They don't. It's just like your oldest child. You know, my oldest daughter used to always say, well, when you fussing at me, you didn't say nothing to so-and-so. I said, but you're the oldest. I expect you to know certain things. Come on, somebody. You're supposed to know better. So you carry the oil of God on your life. You carry the relationship with God that they do not possess. So how in the world can somebody do right by you when they don't possess the Holy Ghost? So that means that I have to do right by them even when they don't do right by me. That means that when they're hungry, I gotta feed them. Even though when I'm hungry, they abandon me. I can't get no help. Next verse. Somebody about to be blessed in here. See, you don't need a prophecy. You just need to get rid of yourself. Oh God, oh God. Y'all can stop calling prophet's phone because he can't help you. The reason why you're in what you're in right now is because of you. And until you repent and live right and submit yourself to God the way you're supposed to, you will not walk in the overflow that you thought you were going to walk in. Prophet can't deliver you. I ain't just talking about him. I'm talking about any prophet. A prophet can't deliver you. You want a prophetic word, but you in sin. You want a prophetic play. You want a prophetic word, but you still laying up with the wrong people. You dealing with married men and married women. Oh, come on, somebody. You married and you still cheating on your spouse. How is God going to bless you over that? Can't no prophet deliver you when you a mess. Israel had to come clean. And let me say this while I'm on it. We think that the obvious sins are the ones that keep us out of heaven. The smoking and the drinking and the sexing and all that. It's going to be a whole lot of people going to hell for lying. I ain't never seen so many so-called supposed to be believers that will tell a lie quicker than somebody in the world. I tell people all the time, do you not know that the Bible says there's a special place in hell for liars in the lake of fire?
That's right.
There's no such thing as a little white lie. A lie is a lie. So if I ask you a question, you need to tell me the truth.
Amen.
See, sin comes in many different shapes and sizes. Solomon said it's the little foxes that destroy the vine. We want to act like we're so holy because we're not out here doing the big stuff. But what about that little stuff? The Bible calls it subject. You know why? Because I'm in a place right now I cannot afford for my stuff to be held back. I can't afford for my stuff to be blocked.
Amen. Amen.
Holiness calls for a lot of sacrifice.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I have parents that will give me anything that I desire. My father worked hard. He worked hard for 37 years. Anything I need, I can call my parents. Watch this.
Come on.
Because I choose to live right,
I know that.
I don't have to call them.
Yeah.
Every time I have a need, God comes through for me. Even when I was in sin, I was miserable because I knew that was not what God had for me.
Amen.
I remember drinking and crying. Drinking alcohol and crying like a baby. I was crying because I said, God, this ain't it. This is not how my life is supposed to be. I've had a relationship with God since I was 4. This is not how my life is supposed to be. Sin is a cover-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a temporary cover-up.
Amen.
But I came to tell you today, if you make a commitment to be right before God, you will see. I'm not talking about people. Forget about people. Forget about what they think. Forget about what they say. Forget about all of that. Forget about their opinions. Some of you had a season where you left the church. Don't come in here with your head down. You come back in here, it's you and God. Say, I'm about to get back everything I lost when I wasn't here. I'm about to get back everything. I'm about to get my praise, my joy. Let them look at me, let them talk about me. I don't care. Come on, somebody. Because at the end of the day, it's just you and God. Nobody in here is in a place to judge nobody else. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. After we repent, for real, and surrender, everything gonna start turning around. Your life is gonna start producing again. Everything your hands touch will begin to cause things to prosper. Why? Because God does not hold your sins against you like men do. People will look at you and judge you for what they know about you. And that will forever be what they say about you. But thank God for His grace that even when we mess up, when He looks at us, He sees His original creation.
Thank you.
He said, you fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes, God.
Somebody talking about what you did, say, yeah, I did it, but I'm not in it no more.
Hallelujah.
You take all the power back. Come on, somebody. Get all your empowerment back. And you tell them, yeah, I did it. I'm guilty, but guess what? That's why I have a testimony, because I'm not in it anymore. Next verse. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for He hath given you the former rain moderately, and He will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. See that first rain, that former rain, that's what prepares the ground.
My God.
Makes it soft. It gets it ready for the seed.
My God.
And then after the seed has been planted, then He bring the rain in the spring. Come The drought is, oh God, I feel the Holy Ghost. The drought is going to end when you repent with your whole heart. He said, as soon as you give me a real yes and stop keeping a plan B in your mind, just in case, that's when I'm going to blow on your harvest, on your crops, and you're going to be able to get your increase and see your increase. The drought will be over. How many need for your stuff to flow again? See, the sad part is when people think they're in a good place, and what they don't realize, that ain't even what, that ain't nothing compared to what God really wants to do for you. So what I'm trying to say is, don't sit in here like you all sedity and feel like you don't need to repent about nothing, because you still ain't walking in the fullness of what you could be walking in, because you still got some little ways about you, come on somebody, that you need to be delivered from. You might not be out here living in sin like that, but you've been talking about somebody. You've been holding some stuff against some people. It's the little things that's keeping us. Humble yourself and repent. See? Have a heart of repentance. When you wake up in the morning, say, God, clean me up. Did I think wrong before I was again? Lord, wash me. Purify me. Sometimes you don't know what's in you till somebody show up that's wrong. I can't stand when people act super holy. You got too much confidence in your flesh. You can come off this 45-day fast and go right back in the world within 2 weeks. Don't you kid yourself. The Bible said that when Jesus had been fasting, the Spirit of the Lord drove him into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. He said, if you be the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. Come on, somebody. If you're not careful, the devil will talk to you and have you forgetting that you already have what he think he's trying to give you. As long as I have God, I have everything. Tell the devil you can't give me what I already have. Next verse. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil. Next verse. And I will restore to you the years. Here's my verse. Yes, Lord. That the locusts have eaten. The cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I have sent among you. Look at somebody and tell them God is restoring us right now. God is restoring us right now. But it's based on our full repentance. I'm done. I'm not hooping at home today. I'm done. Well, somebody needed to hear this. Somebody needed to hear this.
Yes, Lord.
You trying to blame it on the devil? This ain't even the devil. The devil can only do what God allowed him to do. When I'm going through, I get to myself. I get to a quiet place. I disconnect from everybody. My friends be saying, I've been calling and calling and calling. No, don't take it personal. Don't ever take it personal when you know you haven't done anything.
Come on now. That's right.
Your friends and your family should understand what that means when you get quiet.
Come on now.
Yes.
Teach fast.
Being quiet don't mean you mad all the time.
That's right.
Sometimes being quiet means I'm trying to get to a place where I can hear from God. Being quiet means I'm trying to humble my spirit so that I'm not in the wrong conversations. Because I need God to restore. Guess what? When I say restore, talking about material stuff.
Come on, Pastor. Come on.
The Lord revealed something to me earlier about restoration. And you all know my whole theory about restoration. That when he restores, he don't just give you back what you lost, but he give it back to you with increase. And that's what we know to be true. Whatever you've lost, God always bring it back better than what it was before. But today when I was dealing with restoration, God showed me something. He said many of them have the material stuff.
Come on now.
But they don't have no peace.
Come on.
They don't have no peace in their mind. He said many of them need mental restoration. They need their minds to be restored. Come on, somebody. Come on, listen. See, it goes beyond a house and a car and a good job and a little bit of money in the bank and your little 401k. Baby. Because if you don't have no peace, if you don't have the kind of spirit where you say, yeah, I'm happy, yeah, you're happy, but do you have joy? Because there's a difference between happiness and joy.
That's right.
See, when I used to eat red meat, a good steak will make me happy.
That's real.
It's a lot of things. Old school music can make you happy. But the only thing that can bring you joy is the Lord. Lord said, he said, I'm getting ready to restore some of their mental states. Y'all ain't got to say nothing to me because I already know this. Some of y'all feeling like you half crazy. No, seriously. It seems like sometimes you losing your mind. It seems like sometimes you don't know if you're here, you over there, you go back in time. Come on, somebody, you lost in time. You have no bearings on your current situation. Your mind is all over the place. Your mind is unstable. God said, I'm going to bring mental restoration. I'm going to bring healing to the mind. I'm not just going to bless you with material stuff. Because how many know you can have material stuff, and if you're dealing with depression and suicide, you can't enjoy nothing. So I'll put you in a place where you will be able to enjoy everything I'm getting ready to do. I don't want to hoop and holler right now. I don't want to do that. No, because I'm dealing with somebody right where they need to be dealt with. Some of y'all ain't had no peace.
Come on, Pastor.
Y'all remember when Prophet Blackman was talking about the little kids stuck in the back of your mind? I can tell by some of your conversations and your reactions to things that little kid is still in there. I heard the Spirit of the Lord say earlier, he said many of them are still stuck where they were rejected the first time. He said that's why so many times when they in relationships and situations and family situations and with friends, every time they feel or sense like they're being rejected, that little kid starts cutting up.
Come on.
So this is deep about than a house and a car and a good job. We need God to restore our minds fully. Some of you need a good therapist, a good counselor, professional counselor. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm serious. We need to go back to the root of some things. Some stuff happened to you when you was a child and it was never dealt with. That's why you act like a little kid when you can't get your way. Oh, I lost half the church now. Your reaction is the same reaction you had when you were 6.
Come on, show me.
Yes.
All right now, all right.
That's not healthy. So with some stuff, babies, we can't jump over. We can't shout over. Sometimes we need that inner healing. And that's what I'm talking about today. When God heals us from the inside out and your mind is sound, you make better judgments and better decisions. Come on. Come on, you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Somebody say, God help my mind. Do you know that every time you go through something in life, and life is hard, it strips something away from us? That's why you got to stay before God. You don't wait till 6 a.m. prayer to get on your knees. You better learn to get on your knees at home.
Thank you, Jesus.
6 a.m. prayer is for the corporate body to come together.
Come on now.
So we can pray. It's to help teach some of y'all how to pray. Come on, somebody. But at the end of the day, this is what you got to do in the privacy of your home.
That's right.
You got to learn how to close your bedroom door and tell your kids, don't bother me for the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Don't knock on my door unless it's an emergency. Come on, somebody. You got to text your sons and your daughters, tell them, don't call me, don't text me, because I need something from God.
Yeah. Amen. Come on now.
Problem with the church is we want to jump and shout over all this inner stuff that's going on.
Amen.
The devil about to run you crazy when you ain't in church. Oh, I know what God showed me today.
Yes, ma'am.
We carry it so much. You're talking to yourself. Answering yourself. Sitting there contemplating. Am I going to stay with God? Or am I going to go and do something that I know that's going to help me get out of what I'm in? You're sitting at home. I can't stand her. Your thoughts are unpure.
Yeah. Come on, Pastor.
Oh, we going deeper today? No. We dealing with this mind. We need our minds to be restored. You can come in here and hug people and love on them and smile, but what are you dealing with when you're not in here? What is this other side of you that you deal with when you're not here?
Yeah.
It's quiet. Truth be told, there's another side to you that you don't want nobody to know that's there.
Come on.
We need to be healed. When somebody does something to you, the first sign that something is wrong is if you punch your fist to the wall. That's not a sign of a believer. We should have self-control. We should be subject to the Holy Ghost. How in the world do you feel like fighting with the Holy Ghost? Something inside is off.
Yes, ma'am.
If you were raped as a child, have you ever dealt with that?
Yeah.
If one of your family members touched you the wrong way, I know this deep today.
Come on.
Did you ever deal with that?
Yeah. Come on, Pastor.
Trying to help somebody get restored. You cannot ignore that any longer.
Amen.
You got to deal with that place where you were abused, where you were hurt, where you were rejected, where you were abandoned. Because if you don't, you will never walk in the fullness of what God has for you. Somebody say, tell God to restore every part of you.
Yes, God, come on. Every part of me. Restore every part.
I don't want y'all to jump and shout right now. Because somebody got to have enough apostolic anointing to see what's really going on.
Amen.
For years you've been in church and nobody saw that other side, but I want you to know I see it.
Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to be healed from what hurt you when you were little.
Wow.
Amen.
The problem is that, especially in the black church, nobody talked to us like this.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
right.
They just told us everything was going to be all right.
Exactly.
They just told us, yeah, hold on to God's unchanging hand. Yeah, just come up here and call on Jesus.
Come on here. Yes.
Talk about it.
So what we had, and I'm glad we stream it today, because many people watching, you need this word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
What we have is a bunch of people who've had an emotional experience for years,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we've never dealt with the root of the issue.
Amen.
Your father abandoned your father abandoned the family and walked out. You got to deal with that. Because whether you realize it or not, you still have that in your subconscious.
Amen.
That's why when you're in a relationship with somebody, you about to kill yourself when they say they wanna move on to something new or something different. You know why? Because you got abandonment issues.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So anybody that you get close to, you hold on to them for your very life because you don't want to feel what you felt when you was abandoned the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many know this is God today? So when we ask God to restore us, I want y'all to keep this word in mind. God, don't just restore my natural stuff if you're not going to restore my mind. Yes, God. Because if I don't have a right mind, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to blow it anyway. I'm going to mess up anyway. I might end up back on drugs. Come on, somebody. I need my mind restored. I was in my office today listening. I said, God, we in the middle of a 45-day fast. Who's out there praying? I said, who's out there praying? We should be so spiritual right now. I said, we should be so spiritual right now.
Come on now.
It's a sad day when you can say you've been fasting, but you ain't changing.
Come on. Yes, God. Thank you.
I shouldn't have to come out here and say, everybody pray. Come on, get your minds together. Come on, let's keep the atmosphere. Come on, get your minds right. Come on, we need God to move today.
Come on.
You should be telling yourself that.
Yes. Come on now. Come on, Pastor.
This is why we miss God.
Yes.
Because this is us every day.
That's right.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. You might as well go eat.
Come on. That's what I'm saying.
You might as well go and eat you some chicken.
Yes.
Go ahead. Because if you're not changing from the inside out, if you're not sitting there or you're not saying nothing, certain things should bother your spirit right now. Your spirit should be so sensitive to stuff that didn't bother you before should bother you.
Come on now. Jesus.
The closer you get to God, you're supposed to love the things God loves and hate the things God hates. How are you fasting for 45 days and you still carnal?
Jesus.
Ain't been more delivered. Mine still like it was 50 days ago.
Come on now.
Somebody say something to you, you should be scared to even respond halfway because you don't want to mess up.
Come on now.
Fasting is supposed to humble you, and the flesh is supposed to die. I can't get no help.
Yes.
Fasting is supposed to kill the flesh.
Amen.
Sitting in my office, I closed my door. I had tears in my eyes because I didn't hear no sound.
Come on.
All I heard was a bunch of talking. some barbecue.
Amen.
Go to Famous Days today. Go ahead on me. Go ahead and do it. Because if it's not working, you got to let it work for you.
Come on now.
I'm searching a place right now. I see people serve call. I can't answer this phone right now. I'm fasting. That's going to pull me back in a different direction. Come on, somebody. You should be that spiritual.
That's right.
Nah, hey, what you doing? Oh, what you doing? Oh, you want to go somewhere? Oh, let's go. Meet me in such and such. No, you ain't fasting for real.
Come on.
No, you just on a diet.
Come on.
Come on, somebody. You on a diet. That's what that is. Because when you fasting, your flesh, you start feeling it. Come on, somebody. You feel that flesh being destroyed. You say, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm having prophetic dreams, and God is speaking to me, and I'm seeing stuff in the spirit, and I'm seeing spirit. Come on, somebody. I'm able to look at somebody's eyes, and I can see demons looking back at me. Come on, somebody. You should be so spiritual right now that the devil should be trembling. It's starting. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing nothing. Because when you fast, you come out with power. Power to heal the sick. Power to raise the dead. Come on, somebody. There's a fresh anointing on you. You don't think the same way you were thinking before. Your language has changed. Your language is different. You ain't trying to hook up with nobody. You trying to get closer to God. You still leaving church early to go lay up. You might as well eat. I'm in another realm. The sad part is, it's a lot of people. Prophet was talking about the lady he heard on the radio, talking about God took her down to hell. I knew she was telling the truth because as soon as he said that she said the demons was mocking people. That's what I heard when God took me down in the hell. I knew she wasn't lying. See, a lot of people might not believe it. They don't want to believe it. They think it's a joke. They think somebody playing games. But I'm telling you right now, hell is real. God took me down there. I'm telling you, I was down there in the pit, and I saw church folk down there. If you don't get rid of that old nasty way you have, those nasty thoughts, those evil ways, being sneaky and deceptive, the deceptive ways, come on somebody, trying to get somebody back, them old snake spirits, come on somebody, I'm calling it all out today, that old witchcraft stuff you doing, come on somebody, you trying to do something to somebody, using some old hoodoo stuff, your mama never told you from down south, come on somebody, I'm trying to tell you right now, you gonna go to hell, right through the church!
You better say that. You better preach. Come on.
I ain't trying to be popular, I'm just pleasing God. Don't you sit up here and listen to nobody on TV talking about all this grace, all these grace messages, like you can't mess up and find yourself. You didn't hear me say before. A couple of weeks ago I told you the Bible said hell is enlarging itself every single day. Hell has enlarged itself without measure. If it was already designated for certain people, why is it enlarging itself? Why is it prepared for people to come? Oh yeah, this ain't one of them messages where we go in at A flat. No, this ain't one of them messages. I was in my office. I closed my door, and I was in there crying. I said, God, you're gonna have to do something, because I can't do this no more. When you preaching and you teaching and you living the example and you trying to live the example before the people, and they still gonna sit up and lie in your face, they still gonna sit up and just like the children of Israel, when Moses was up on the mountain trying to hear from God on behalf of the people, they was down there getting frustrated. What's taking him so long? Why is he up there? What is he doing? We so frustrated. We tired of this. Aaron, do something.
Come on.
So they built a golden calf. started worshiping an idol God.
Yeah.
This word ain't coming like y'all want it to come today. But the last 3 messages that I preached, that Tuesday night message, don't slip, and the way God dealt with me Friday about He catching us, and this message today, 3 strikes and you out. If you don't get this today, you better ask somebody who's been outside of church for a minute. What happens when you leave church?
Come on now.
Not just any church. I'm talking about an apostolic prophetic house where you have a leader who has been sold out to God, that ain't living in sin, that has integrity, that has you at the y'all not saying. That's why when people do stuff to me, I have to be very careful, because whatever I say, God honors it. So I have to be very careful, because as soon as I open up my mouth, that's it.
Come on now.
Do you not know you can walk so closely to God that God will honor whatever you say as soon as you open your mouth? That's why you need to live right. You don't need a semi-automatic block. Just live right. You can just open up your mouth and say something, they'll fall dead right in your face. That's why we as believers, come on somebody, it's something special about when you are sold out to God. That's why I don't worry about people. You stay right with God and let God handle the rest.
Amen. Amen.
Everything, I've never been in a situation that God didn't deliver me out of.
My God.
But that is because I live right before God.
Yes, God.
I'm not in here playing games.
Come on, God.
I'm not living one way in here and another way out there. Come on, somebody. Do anybody know what I'm talking about? Somebody got to know that righteousness is still possible.
Yes. Yes, God.
I'm disappointed in what I see in the body of Christ today. There's no integrity. There's hardly ever any integrity. I'm not going to say there's no, because God always has a remnant of us who's right.
Yes. Come on now. That's right.
Not perfect, but living to please God.
Yes.
This is why we got to be rooted, because you can't, it's like watching the news. You can only deal with so much news. Some of y'all got to quit looking at Facebook so much, because there's so much stuff on there. It's like when you log on to Facebook, it's like being in the twilight zone. Like you done got sucked into another world and you just seeing all kind of stuff you ain't never seen, and this stuff is getting in your spirit. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
This is why social media can be a blessing or it can be a curse. Let me ask y'all this question as we get ready to close. Is it anybody who desires to be right with God? I just don't know. But people still want to. Oh, what are we doing? Are we just claiming church but living foul? Are people still serious about their walk with God? Come on, who's serious about God? Who's serious about God? You don't get it right every day, but your heart is like this. Your heart is right towards it.
Yes, God. Yes, Lord.
We get ready to move on. Son, play something.
Thank you, Pastor.
Bless you, baby. Bless you. She's one of the people we blessed yesterday. She said she was coming back today. And guess what? She said she lost everything. But her whole testimony was she kept praising God the whole time she was in here. She was crying and praising God and loving God. And she said she knew God was going to bless her. Come on, somebody. See, sometimes you don't know who God will send to encourage you. Now, if she can lose everything and still not know how stuff that she's dealing with now is going to come together, but she still can stand and lift her hands and say, I still believe God. message didn't go the way. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Somebody needed to hear this today. I don't know about you. I'm not perfect, but my heart is pure concerning God. I'm so serious because I'm of the mindset, if I'm not going to be right, I'm just going to go back in the world.
Come on now.
So my thought on today was repent so you can be restored. And I'm not talking about that fake stuff.
Come on.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about when your life backs up what just came out of your mouth.
Come on.
I'm not talking about repenting and then sitting here and you planning on going by the liquor store tonight. Because some of y'all been doing that. And I'm not judging you. I just want you to know that God's been showing me a lot. Some of you have gone back to smoking and because you're trying to find peace. You're trying to find peace in the midst of the situation. I'm not going to judge you, but baby, I'm going to tell you that that's only going to keep pulling you further away from God. That's not bringing God any glory. What brings him glory is when we can trust and when we can't trace him. Yes, God. Yes. That's why sometimes when the psychologists assign medication to people, the medication make folk worse than what they were. Watching the commercial sometime, and they say one of the side effects for the mental pill is suicide. I'm like, well, what they gonna take it for if it's gonna make them want to commit suicide? I thought that's why they prescribe it. Right. See, the world don't have the answer. They just trying to give you something so you can have a little relief so you can get out their face. I want to know today, how many of you are ready to go to the next dimension for real? You ready for things to be restored for real? I'm talking about in your mind, everything that you've lost, your spiritual gifts. And I'm not just talking about your prayer life. I'm talking about how you used to be able to hear the voice of God. Some of you cannot even hardly hear the voice of God no more. How many know I'm telling the truth? You used to be so close to God, like he would just whisper in your ear. You can ask him a question and he just dropped the answer right there. Like the angel of the Lord just, it would seem like life was just so much. But somewhere along the line, we've lost some spiritual gifts. And we need to be restored. Your children need you to be back in that place again. If you don't get back in that place, your children might not make it. You ain't got no choice but to hold it up. If you don't love God enough for yourself, love enough for your kids. Because if you don't pray, who's going to pray for you? I read something yesterday morning and it almost broke my heart. This lady said, she said, I couldn't stand my mother. No, that was this morning. She said, I couldn't stand my mother. She said, I hate my mother. She said, and I tried to do right. She said, and before she left this world, she would say, y'all miss me when I'm gone. She said, my sisters called me and said, it's been 10 years, we're going to start missing her. I don't want to be that cold.
I know that's right. Come on, Pastor.
I was watching Oprah give her testimony. She said, I didn't have the best childhood. She said, and it seemed like my mother didn't even want to recognize me until I got money. She said, now she want to talk to me. She said, but when I got money, She said, I did everything in the Bible. And she started quoting the scripture. She said, honor thy mother and father that your days may be long upon the land which thy Lord giveth thee. She said, I had to keep telling myself. She kept quoting the scripture. She said, so I blessed my mother and I blessed my father. She said, I took my mother out of retirement and I tried to take my father out of retirement, but he took the money and kept working. She said, I did everything I was supposed to. She said, but the relationship with my mother still was not the best. She said, my mother got sick. She said, never in the entirety of my life did I ever tell my mother I loved her. She said, I never told her. I never spoke those words. She said, I went to see her. My sister called. She said, my sister called me and told me the condition. She said, my mother was in hospice. She said, I went to see her, and she said, I didn't even know the words to say. She said, I interview people for a living. I talk to people for a living, and I couldn't even find the words to say to my own mother. She said, there she was lying on her sick bed, and I didn't even know the words to say to her. She said, so I told her, she said, I'm getting ready to go. And she said, all right. And I stood in the doorway, and I said, okay. She said, see you later. She said, I said, okay, see you later. She said, and I left. She said, the next time I went, same thing. She said, and then I had an interview with Michelle Obama. She said, and they called me back. They said, you need to get here. She said, I went back. She said, but this time, she said, I had to prepare myself. Because I knew what I had to do. See, sometimes you got to be the bigger person, baby.
Come on, Pastor. Yes, God. Come on.
She said, and for the first time in my life, I told my mother I loved her.
My God.
She said, and then she died. I know it's God, son. I know it's God. I'm trying to tell you, I don't care if it's your mother. You honor your mother. You do the right thing. Because God is always going to bless you for doing the right thing. We talk about Oprah, but maybe that's why she's so blessed. Because she chose to do the right thing.
Yeah.
She still honored her mother. Even though she was justified in being angry and bitter the rest of her life. She chose not to be bitter. Who am I talking to today? It's somebody in your life that didn't treat you right. It might have been your mother. It might have been your father who abandoned you. You might have felt like your family just left you hanging and you had to raise yourself. I want to let you know this altar is open to you right now. Just start coming. Some of you need inner healing. I want you to come to this altar right now. Don't look at nobody. Don't question nothing. Just come to this altar because I'm dealing with inner healing today. This ain't about the person on your road. I'm dealing with inner healing today. Because if you don't get to the root of what is causing you to be stuck, everything you try to do, you can get a new job and still be stuck. You can make more money and still be stuck. You can get a new house and still feel like you're stuck. I'm talking about that inner you. Come on, somebody. Come on, God's going to heal today. God's going to heal. We almost done with this service. I'm almost done. Come on, somebody. Come on, I just want you to come to the altar and just close your eyes. Come on and just begin to lift your hands up to God. Come on, let God give you that inner healing. Come on, let God give you that inner healing. Come on, let God give you that inner healing. Come on, come on. Who else is coming? Who else is coming? Who else is coming? I need y'all to move quickly. Some of y'all so carnal. We up here having an altar call. Y'all just standing around talking. See what I'm talking about? We supposed to be so spirit. People's souls are at stake right now. You don't know who up here is contemplating suicide. Who's been struggling with that? Who's been dealing with that? I need my flash. I want you to know God is catching you today. Because what you're going to find is not, the peace you're looking for is not going to be in a relationship. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to be in the arms of another person. I'm going to tell you that right now. You ain't happy. You still a mess. Come on, somebody. Somebody going to get this today. Inner healing, inner healing. Your mother might abandon you when you was a child, and your grandmother had to raise you, and your aunt had to raise you, or you was put in the foster care system. We're going to deal with all of that today. Come on, close your eyes, close your eyes. Get ready for your inner healing. Come on, get ready for your inner healing. Come on, get ready for your inner healing. Some of you got a new job and you're still miserable. You driving new cars, you're still miserable. You at a new church and you're still miserable. Come on, somebody. Because until we deal with the inner part of us, come on, close your eyes and go back to that place. Go back to that place where you Jesus. Father, we decree and we declare right now, oh God, it's some things that have to break today. God, in the name of Jesus, we decree right now. Come on, I want y'all to begin to cry out to God. Come on, let me hear you. Let me hear you. In the name of Jesus. Come on, just ask the Lord to help you right now. God, help me right now. Help me right now. Some of y'all been carrying this stuff for 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. It's carried over into your adulthood, but it's going to break today in the name of Yeah, Lord. Yes, 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 Lord. God, you're going to do everything she needs you to do. God, you're going to bless her so fast it's going to make her head swim. God, you're going to bless her so fast it's going to blow her mind. Because she kept her word and said she was going to come back today. God, bless her right now. God, bless her right now. God, bless her right now. In the name of Jesus. That's the power of the Holy Ghost. Don't nobody touch her. Yeah, yeah. Did y'all see what just happened at the altar? That's why you always be led by the Spirit when you up here. It's not based on what the people, how they want you to flow. You flow with God, and then you'll get results. Come on, somebody. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Come on, clap your hands, because the Lord is blessing us. When they get up off of this floor, they're going to be new. Everything's going to be new. They're going to look new. They're going to feel new. See, if you keep a yes with God, you ain't got to worry about trouble. If you keep a real yes with God, you ain't got to worry about the devil. How many know that God will make the devil come subject just because you're walking up right before God? He said, I won't withhold no good thing from those that walk up right before me. So always keep a yes. Yes will keep your flesh under subjection unto God. Come on, clap your hands one more time. Come on. Come on, worship. Come on, worship. Come on, worship. Just lift your hands. Just tell the Lord yes right where you stand. Just tell him yes. What am I saying yes to? I'm saying yes to his plan. Because his plan is better than mine.
Yes, God. Oh, yes, God. Yes, God.
Come on.
Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God.
We're going to praise him, sing a little bit of that. through your word at this altar, through the worship. God, we don't take it lightly. Father, we see what you have done. Father, I tap into the apostolic anointing and I see the things you have released in this place. Father, we thank you for inner healing. We thank you that curses have been broken today. Father, we thank you that witchcraft has been broken today. Father, we thank you that word curses have been broken today. Father, we thank you that self-sabotage has been broken today. We thank you that the spirit of depression is no longer holding people today. Father, we thank you that the spirit of suicide has left the building today. Father, we thank you that the spirit of peace is coming. We thank you that somebody has received their joy back. And we decree and declare that families are being restored now. Father, we thank you that lives are being restored now. Father, we thank you for supernatural and divine favor. Father, you said that we will repent, that you will restore. So now, God, I ask you to bless your people in the fullness of restoration. Father, I decree there's nothing missing, there's nothing broken, and there's nothing lacking. In the name of Jesus, concerning your people. And all the people shouted with an amen. Those of you who have been watching, some of you watched from the beginning to the very end of the service. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for tuning in. But as I often say, whatever God is doing in this house, you better believe He's able to do it in your house. I decree and I declare that the same things that have been broken at this altar today are being broken off of your lives. I decree and declare that those of you that are watching, you will never be the same. In Jesus' name. Why don't you lift your hands while you're sitting there? Why don't you lift your hands while you're there watching? You might even be sitting in your car watching me right now. You might be in the hospital watching me right now. I decree divine healing in your body. I prophesy right now. There's somebody watching. There's somebody watching by the name Tony. You go by Tony. I decree and declare that God is doing something for Tony right now. I decree and declare that emotional healing is taking place for Tony right now. And Father, we thank you that all is well. In Jesus' name. Somebody clap your hands right now. Let's give God praise. What another awesome move of God. Just a moment, we're going to worship God in our giving. I want to say to those of you that are watching, that you may sow into the ministry. They have provided a place there for you to sow a seed. If it's